What's up, everybody? It's time for another short and sweet Mighty Oaks Race Car channel update. So as you probably know, I changed the name of the channel. No warning, no heads up. King 15 was like my Xbox Live gamer tag. So when I started YouTube like years ago, I was like, I'm gonna do only gaming, it's gonna be great. So went with my gamer tag. Basically never upload gaming, so since it's all car stuff, I figured it'd be a good move. It makes sense to switch it up to like the race car name. And most of the people that are on this channel anyway just like know me in person by name, so most of you guys know my affiliation with the Mighty Oaks. So it shouldn't be too much of a shock. I just figured it makes more sense. Let's roll with that. So it's Christmas Eve. I'm looking kind of preppy, but so Merry Christmas, everybody. But yeah, that's part of the reason there hasn't been a lot of updates is it's the middle of winter. There's not a lot of racing going on. Whatever is going on is just miserable. It's cold. It's like driving through snow to get your race car to an event is not fun. So I try not to do it. So I've just not been driving. Right now the car is not drivable. I took the ECU out. It is at Divulge Motorsports with Steve. I had a backup ECU for this other car. It's a VTEC ECU. This car has a non-VTEC engine, so let me be more specific. That car, that 2/3 of a car has a non-VTEC engine. It had a VTEC ECU. I found the non-VTEC ECU just sitting around, plugged it in, it works great. So I took the ECU, the VTEC ECU from that thing, and I'm donating it to the race car. So the race car had coil on plug, it had HON data, all that stuff I installed, it all worked fine. So the boost by gear didn't work. I had installed that. Soldering was okay, but I think that's where I went wrong. When I was desoldering the circuit for boost by gear, I think I like messed up the printed circuit board for the ECU. So I installed boost by gear twice on the ECU that was in this car, and it never worked. I tested it out. The PCM is the ground for the solenoid. I have power for the boost solenoid coming straight off that fuse box. So I made sure it worked, the solenoid at least. I got a battery and just like connected the solenoid straight to the battery, and it click, 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 click as I like tapped the connection. So I know the solenoid works. I checked the wiring, you know, with the battery, click, click, click. That obviously means the wiring's all good. So problem was in the PCM. So must have been something I did when I was installing it, you know, messed up the PCB in the ECU. I'm pretty sure I could install it correctly this time around, but I don't want to take the chance because ECUs for Civic EGs are getting kind of hard to come by that aren't like totally messed up. Guilty. So I don't want to have to buy a new one. I had one sitting around. I just gave it to a pro. Steve over at Divulge has done a lot of socketing. He's done a lot of tuning. The guy's a pro. So he's got the ECU and all the parts to socket it. He's just gonna put that stuff in. Then I'm gonna drop the chips in, and hopefully it'll make boost. Like it already makes boost. It'll hopefully make more than 6 PSI. 6 PSI is pretty fun, but it's only good for about 215 horsepower. I want this thing to be like rowdy. And honestly, I expect it to scare me when it's making 15, 18, 20 PSI a boost. I don't know what it's gonna be, but it should be pretty healthy. And yeah, rowdy, scary, spicy, whatever you wanna call it. It's gonna be more than just, you know, a little fun or a little peppy. It's gonna be woo. So that's going on. I ordered a whole new coil on plug set because the red car is gonna get coil on plugs. Still has the distributor in it. It's been working fine. This car's pretty reliable, but distributors are garbage. Eventually it's gonna poop out. Coil unplug stuff works great. I've got some extra coils. I ordered the coil holder bracket to go on the valve cover, because I'm gonna really, I mean, this is what I do, is I hand me down stuff from the race car to this car. Anything this car doesn't need, or if anything gets upgraded from this car, it goes on that 2/3 of a car. Eventually I'll get into showing more of that car. It runs and drives. Obviously it doesn't have a roof. It's really noisy. It barely runs, but it's a fun project. I'll get more into that later, but coil unplug is going into this, and eventually also I have limited slip differential for this car, so it should be pretty fun for rallycross. Ooh. Okay, so back here, what I've been working on is the new battery. So before I had a tiny little motorcycle battery for this race car. It just couldn't run the scavenge pump, the fuel pump, like headlights and everything for too long. Definitely if the engine was off, if the alternator's not charging it, it was a problem. It had 150 co-cranking amps. It would start the car fine, but it basically always had to be on a battery charger. And yeah, if I turned the key on and like ran the scavenge pump, it would be a problem to start the car after like 3 minutes or something. So this battery has 650 co-cranking amps. I gotta watch my thumb. And it should just be good to go for years. And I can run the scavenge pump, the fuel pump, whatever, with the engine off. That thing should do it. Let's see, it's really dark in here, but that's where I'm gonna put the battery box. It's behind where I'm gonna put a firewall in, you know, so it's in the trunk, it's behind the firewall. Should be safe. Right now it's just sitting there, but it's gonna get bolted to like a platform that I'm gonna make and weld up and attach to the trunk floor. So that battery box is gonna be solid. It's got a lid, of course. And then I'm just gonna attach it to my existing wiring that I have here. I got new cables coming because I'm gonna have to redo this because it doesn't really fit. It doesn't reach. So I got a little bit of wiring to do from the circuit breaker to the battery, and then to the charging posts and the kill switch, which are over here. So you know, all these wires have to be just redone so they reach. I'm definitely not splicing anything like that. Too heavy duty to splice. So actually Amazon just dropped off those cables, so I should get to it. All right guys, thanks for watching. I know this ended up being longer than I expected it. Thanks for putting up with my crap. Check it out next time I upload a video. Hopefully it'll be sooner. Like and subscribe if you will. See you. So sorry about that to the few people that saw the random GTA videos that popped up on the channel. I was trying to delete those before anyone saw them. I'm having issues.